I call David Bennett.
Speaker, and that last speaker came to a completely erroneous conclusion, as we expect from him. But let's go back to some fundamentals of what happens in this area. There are three development banks that you really have in the Asia-Pacific region. The IMF, which the Americans set up, the Asia Development Bank, which is the Japanese set up, and then you have this one, which is the Chinese set up. What did you say, member? Yeah, but the Japanese are the main shareholders in it, and as you would see from your speech, if you actually understood what you were saying when you read the quote from somebody in Hong Kong where it said that it was controlled by the Japanese, that's because that is the Japanese equivalent of the IMF. And so it would be helpful if that member actually understood what he was reading, but that's another day. So the thing is that in the world of trade, we are a trading country. And what do you need as a trading country? You need customers. And it is often seen through the development of whatever we do in this world, is that if you can bring other people up in standard of living, that increases the standard of living of your country because there's more people to trade with. Look what happens in Africa. The UN is completely about building trade by building their ability to become middle-class citizens in the world. It's what has happened in Asia. It was what will happen in Africa in the next 50 years. And that is the important part of lifting people out of poverty, gives them the ability to get an education, gives them the ability to then buy our products and goods and services, and that's what we want. These banks are designed to provide infrastructure so that those countries can develop further. And I went to the Asia Development Bank meeting this year, and at that meeting it was really interesting. They said that a city the size of basically Tauranga or Dunedin is being produced in that Asian Pacific region every week. So every week you get a city that size coming along on board with over 100,000 people with your standard of living. And so that is the reality of what these projects deliver. They deliver the connections through the Asia-Pacific region to enable that to happen, and they are consumers. Those are consumers that can buy our goods and services. That is the important thing, and it lifts those people out of poverty so that they can make right decisions around the environment. They can make the right decisions around their economy, and they can make the right decisions around their personal and human rights. And so those are fundamental things that I thought the Labour Party would have stood up and understood, not trying to look at the finance of this bank. And the New Zealand First Party will never support this because it is anti-Asian. It is a party that is against having New Zealand in the world order. It is a party that has demonstrated in this House this week how disgusting and trivial they are. And I would like to thank David Seymour for his time at question time, for standing up for members of our party, and I'd like to apologise to the New Zealand public on behalf of the New Zealand First Party for their approach in this party.
Order. We're not on that debate.
And so, Mr Speaker, it's important that we look at this bill because it is creating something that will create more markets for New Zealand products. It is about building that relationship with our region that we live in, and this is a good bill, Mr Speaker.
Members, this debate is concluded. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. A party vote's called for. I'll ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
12 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
2 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Members, the ayes are 109, the noes are 12. The motion is agreed to.
International Finance Agreements Amendment Bill, second reading.
This bill is set down for committee stage next sitting day. Call on Government Order of the Day number 2.